All right, guys. Robbie Lewis here with Telemetry Flight Services. Just some quick housekeeping real fast. Our school community is growing. We've added 20 members this week, and I think we still have another 50 slots available for our free resources and our free Part 107 course, as well as the community-based learning and everything else that school entails. If you're interested, I'm going to drop a link in the comments below, so stop by and check us out. So this is the weekly drone SITREP that I'm going to start doing. These are just 5 stories that I think are interesting that can impact local agencies and the civilian populace. They may be military themed, but I think all of them tie back into the civilian side of things. So this week we're covering F-35s flying with drones, Starlink going airborne, and the Army goes window shopping, which is the Army. So we'll see what the hell happens. This is kind of a no-fluff intel drop for everything, or for, like I said, stories that I find relative. So just jumping right into it. Story number 1, the PDW C-100 pairs with the F-35 like a fine wine, apparently. The Pentagon just blurred lines between manned and unmanned air power, Performance Drone Works, or PDW, which is an awesome company. I met a bunch of them down at Soft Stronghold Solutions. They've got a fantastic product. It's very, very capable. And they demonstrated that with the C-100 by working with the F-35 to do precision targeting in real time. So what does that mean? Let's break all of that down to a very simple statement. The Air Force just added a cheap disposable airborne spotter with its most expensive fighter aircraft. There's no telling what the hell is going to happen with that capability. It's probably going to be pretty amazing. If the DoD is building drone fleets around fighter jets, then maybe local agencies need to look at doing something similar within their organizations or their counties or municipalities. Maybe you need to pair your wildland firefighting aircraft with the near real-time or the real-time precision of your small UAS fleet, or think about it in a search and rescue environment, or even in an emergency response environment. Think hurricane, flooding, that kind of thing. And all of these links to these stories will be in the comments, so I'm not just chat GPT in this shit and making it all up. Story number 2, tube launch drone plus Starlink Mini. This is awesome. This is technology evolving at a pretty rapid rate. Defendi unveiled that their tube launch drone has a attached onboard Starlink Mini terminal. The result is you get global comms, real-time video regardless of the environment that you're in, and it fires from a backpack. The actual aircraft itself is under 250 grams, so you don't have to be Part 107 certified, but you probably should be. And the units are going to cost around $5.99 a piece, I think is what they were looking at. I didn't dive into what comes with that price tag, so don't hold them to that. But like I said, the link's in the story below. Check them out. It looks like a pretty awesome capability set. Quick takeaway on what that means for local operations. Satellite connected drones mean you're no longer tied to cell phone towers or local networks. You can populate things from your TAC or whatever external communication service that you're using fairly easily. This can act as a communications node for emergency communications. This unlocks real-time ISR from anywhere, whether you're fighting fires, conducting wide area search and rescue, or working off-grid disaster zones, exactly like we just talked about. Every local agency should be evaluating the portable satellite comms as part of its small UAS capability stack. I think that's going to be huge in the future. All right, story number 3. This is a story that's kind of near and dear to my heart because I actually pitched this to the Air Force. Granted, it was a long time ago. Not a long time ago. It was a while ago. But yeah, it is neat to see things that I have suggested to Air Force leadership or Air Force Special Operations leadership make their way down. It just takes a long time to get there. So 8 airmen from the 21st Combat Air Base Squadron just completed a full week of small UAS training. They didn't do it at my old schoolhouse at Choctaw Field. They actually did it at Joint Base Charleston, and it was led by the 628th Civil Engineering Squadron. The training included search and rescue, dense forest navigation, damage and casualty assessments, and nighttime thermal reconnaissance, which are the bread and butter for using these systems in a combat type setting. Each airman earned its operator's certificate, and now they're supporting deployment readiness across the Indo-Pacific region. A quick takeaway that I found interesting for this story was that service members, especially Air Force members, are moving into this multi-mission capable mindset where all of this small UAS operations is actually outside of their original career field, so they're kind of multitasking. These drone operators will eventually enter the local hiring pool as they transition out or retire out or ETS out or whatever from the military. So local governments need to be headhunting these guys and looking for these guys as they're putting themselves out there if it's something they continue to want to do after their military service. And also maybe local governments need to look into the same multi-mission type mindset and emphasize that. All right, story number 4. U.S. Army goes window shopping. So they actually just created a drone marketplace. This is going to be a centralized, vetted catalog of UAS options backed by real testing and not just sales pitches or TLO pitches or PowerPoint presentations that look really great, but in all actuality, the aircraft doesn't do shit. We saw this several times at my schoolhouse while I was still active duty, that a company would present an idea or a capability or even a system and say, hey, here you go. And it didn't work as advertised. So some of the kind of key points with this story is that units will see actual verified range, payload, and compliance data. The procurements can speed up and they'll be smarter about what they're choosing. And it's mission focused. It's not market driven. So this goes back to two different things. So one is the selection of aircraft, or the selection of aircraft based off of a capability that you may have. You never, ever buy an aircraft and then try to get it to fit the capability you need. That's completely backwards. You define the capability, you set the requirement, and then you go out and you purchase a system that fulfills that requirement so you can meet that capability. And number 2, this is part of the SecDef reinvigoration of small UAS, not just within the DoD, but within the United States as a whole. And why local communities should care. This is the future. Imagine a public safety drone catalog with pre-cleared gear that you can just, okay, I need this. Get it. And you already know what you're getting before you see it. It's already vetted. It's already the homework's already been done. The research has already been done. All you have to do is define the capability and come up with a requirement and then find the system to match that. Smart teams don't buy drones, they build capability stacks. So a lot of these things will build on top of one of another. All right, story number 5. eBee is back at it again. They already have the eBee TAC, and I don't remember what the original one was called. Now this is the Vision, and it just got its Blue UAS certification, which is huge. This at Ag Eagle Company is awesome. They have another really great aircraft. A lot of our instructors, and I know a lot of guys within the special operations community would go get trained by those guys to utilize those systems downrange. So what does it mean to get something Blue UAS cleared? That means that the government, or the DoD specifically, can purchase this without any red tape, without asking any damn questions. They can just go, okay, we have this capability, or we need this capability, we have this requirement, we need an eBee Vision. It's that simple. There's no other vetting. It kind of goes back hand in hand with that marketplace that the Army's talking about. So the specs for this one are a little bit different than the TAC. It's 3.3 pounds. It's got a 100-minute endurance, and it's got a EO and an IR payload. Let's see. Yeah, for local use, What does this mean? If you're building a program, cheat. If you're trying to do something, chances are somebody has already done something very similar. So cheat. The DoD is already vetting a lot of these systems for you. If you are a state or county or city official and you want to get started with a UAS program, cheat. Do what the DoD's using. All of this is public information. Define your capability, or identify your capability, define your requirement, and go to the Blue UAS list and just buy whatever you need because it's already been vetted by the DoD. So that means it's cleared. It's good. Hopefully that list gets a little more expansive and it's not just a lot of bigger companies. Hopefully you'll start seeing a lot of smaller companies get on that Blue UAS list. And that'll give you more capabilities to choose from as we move on. All right. And yeah, that's it. That's all 5. The DoD's moving kind of away from one-off drone integrated to integrated drone fleets. I think that's kind of a takeaway for some of this stuff. If you're still buying drones one at a time or unilaterally, you're probably doing it wrong. There are a lot of other people having that same problem set that you have. So ask and network around. And if you have a question, chances are somebody else has a question. So that's it. That's your drone SITREP for the week. Stay sharp, stay compliant. And if you want the full intel package of everything that we're doing at Telemetry Flight Services, we've got a PDF suite. We got mission briefing templates. We've got a lot of cool resources out there, and our Part 107 course is free. So check the link in the description, and until next time, try not to crash. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, do the subscribe thing. If there's topics you want me to cover later on, leave a comment. I'd be willing to do the research. Just let me know. See you guys.